We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. With the echoes of cannon blast still ringing in our ears from the north end zone, the Bucs were introduced a moment ago, and they are all set as their guys will do battle with the San Francisco 49ers. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Opens up that time as he'll be brought down just short of a first after a gain of about 9. Well, partner, this offense 12-0 now on the year following their latest victory. And during the week, a lot of folks making comparisons between this squad and the 1985 Bears. You know, they too were 12-0 at this juncture of the season before losing on a Monday night 38-24 to the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl way back on December 2nd of 85. But then they'd never lose again en route to winning Super Bowl 20.
And when you look back on it, partner, didn't it almost feel like a setup game? Because they were playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were protecting their franchise's undefeated season of 1972, that team. And you know what that team does. They love to celebrate the fact that they still are the only one to get through an entire NFL season that way. That was Dan Marino's third year, playing under the great Don Shula, and they were motivated to keep that franchise's record intact.
Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front and linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
They fake the handoff. Now Brady. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT.
Not the desired outcome, but probably won't be the last time we see him take a shot downfield.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. This defense for the Niners, they played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
And how'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away. If the ball was popped free, they picked it up. 5 takeaways in last week's game.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard. Punter Sterling Hoffrichter out now on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now a 2nd down and 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
First down. It's Mitchell, and he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle, feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They'll try the left side. Mitchell trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Here's Lance. That ball caught. Brandon Ayuk. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Sermon now on 1st and 10. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Lance. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Lance, a give now to Sermon. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. And Lance now to throw. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They'll try and run for the first with Sermon. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. We're scoreless after 1. And the first play will be a field goal try. This one from 46 yards out. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. A lot of energy in this building tonight, but the opening drive produces 3, maybe quiets them just a bit, at least momentarily.
Just a little, right? That's all you're asking for, right? Things just getting started. You know they haven't taken the momentum totally here, but at the same time, they like what they've done here in the early going.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And they, as mentioned, unbeaten to this point in the year, but you think this game, their toughest test yet.
I absolutely do, because to me, this is a good measuring stick game because they've been able to take advantage of the schedule. But here, this is another team leading its division with an eye on making a Super Bowl run, so this game is crucial. But how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice gain.
And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Brady going to sling this out wide to Godwin.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people who have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 47. Hands it off out of the gun. Javon Kinlaw, the big D tackle there to bring him down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
2nd down and 5. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Here's Brady. Now they go screen. It's complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 28.
I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield, everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield. And he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
And he'll give it here to his running back. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Let's go, D. Switch.
Now a handoff as they run left side. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. They'll try to pick this up on the ground with White. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Oh, a good move at the 5. And a nice pick up there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line. They're mounting a nice drive here. Good chunk of yardage there again. O-line, they've been solid this drive.
They have that look about them right now that says, if you do anything but run the ball behind us, you're crazy. They have really moved it well on this drive, and they want to finish it off the same way.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Mike, 53, Mike. Check.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Now they'll throw with Brady. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that is going to set up 3rd and goal. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Going with White here, toss left. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11.
A great job there by this defense. They give up the long drive, but in the end, it looks like they'll force a field goal attempt.
And now the Tampa Bay field goal unit comes out here. This is up and good from Pinheiro. And that will tie us at 3-3. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive, but you run out of space to run the deep route, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Lance. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Fabian Moreau.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 60 yards for him on the ground so far tonight, as he has been terrific in his first half. A perfect example right there, Charles, of why they love this rookie runner.
And think about how the NFL and the college games are meshing together more and more. You don't have to go to the NFL and learn a new set of skills. What you did in college often makes you ready for the NFL.
First down, here's White. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
I can't believe they even let you play. Hey, check Mike 57, Mike 57. I'm scared. Check 3, check 3.
He finds his man, complete. It's Blake. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
To throw, it's Brady. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. The kick by Pinheiro is good. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with REA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the 49ers going to have the football and trailing on the scoreboard as we get back underway on EA Sports. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 29-yard line.
Second and 6, just inside the 30. They'll keep it on the ground. Mitchell. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, Sermon. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. They give to Sermon out of the gun. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That one definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the 3rd quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And a solid run down inside the 30. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
Running left is Sermon, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside, but he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he is going to have a Niners first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down.
First down, 49ers.
They'll run on first down. It's Mitchell. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Play fake. Lance. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. And 2nd down. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Here's 2nd and 9. Lance looking to throw it. Drops this underneath. It's Mitchell. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down. To throw, it's Lance. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And that is incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fun.
Bruce Arians taking exception to that last call, and he's going to throw out the challenge flag. And we'll get a moment here as they look this one over.
Yeah, remember now, the call on the field is what they'll stick with unless they have clear video evidence to the contrary. And I give these officials a lot of credit. Such a tough and demanding job. You and I both know that. Yeah, they make the right call way more often than they get it wrong.
The kick by Gold is good, and that will tie things up at 6-6. So they come away from this opening drive of the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, and that has to be job one, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And their 3-point halftime lead gone now, back to a tie game. But, Charles, I don't imagine that changes too much for this offense.
I would agree. I don't think it changes much at all, whether it's a 3-point lead or a tie game. They know they have their work cut out for them, and they were going to run their offense in the same vein.
Second and 9.
50 seconds. Watch the out. 50 seconds. Mike, 50 seconds. Double dog. That's the way. Alert 3.
Throwing now is Brady. Looking downfield for Godwin. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Buccaneers on just 2 plays have taken the lead. Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. And it's up and good to extend the lead to 13-6. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Cameron Hayward in on the tackle. Second and 6, just inside the 30. Lance going to throw. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground.
Just work with me a second here, because in my lifetime, seeing how quarterback percentages have changed in throwing the football, I mean, back in the good old days, if you were around 50%, you were doing okay. But now, you need to be 65 to 70% to be considered an elite quarterback. And in this ball game, I feel like we're playing old school, right around 50%.
Yeah, he's under 50%. He needs to start hitting more targets. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On first down, it's Mitchell. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Second and 8 coming up. Here's Lance to throw it. And he will find his man, Samuel. Touchdown, 49ers. Deebo Samuel, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Niners are an extra point away from tying this ball game here in the final moments of the 3rd quarter. Gold with the extra point, and that will tie our game here in the 3rd. All square now at 13-all as he sends this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And their lead has evaporated in this 3rd quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Here's Brady to throw. He'll get that out to the flat to White. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. And now here's a carry heading left. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
57 is the mic. Watch 57.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield. And if you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice gain.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Going to give this time to the tailback. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a handoff here to his running back. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40. 2 yards on the first down carry and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going. Big 3rd down. A field goal from this spot, 57 yards as they hope to move it a little closer. Working from the gun, it's Brady. This is caught by Evans. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 17-yard line.
And partner, in a tie game in the fourth quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 87 yards rushing for him now as his fine rookie season continues. A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
Switch it. Come on, switch it.
White. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bucs answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. Extra point right down the middle. And they will take a 7-point lead. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points, said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And Lance's throw taken in by Adams. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing now is Lance. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. He's back to throw. That's going to be caught by Samuel. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Nice. Well coached. A team that understands what's going on. They still have time to work the middle of the field as they just did there.
Here's 2nd and a yard. Back to throw. They'll find Ayuk open right side. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point you have to have a splash play in there as well.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So the defense helping him out a little bit here late in the fourth.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And when you're the one doing the chasing, you'll take a little help from the other guys, won't you?
Back to throw. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Sermon. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to 2nd and goal. Now Lance again. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. Third and goal. And keep in mind, very possibly 4-down territory. They'll look to throw again. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And the Bucs have just about sewn up this football game. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So fire the cannons. It's a victory here for Tampa Bay. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the Bucs, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Niners, it's just their third loss as they fall now to 10-3. And they'll get a home date next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.